righty. Shalom, salama, siemi, shalom, peace. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you are a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. Family, I'm telling you, I can't keep up with the news. I can't keep up with it. You have everything here and there, tariffs going on, compromises going on. Folks want to have their geopolitical analysis. And the funny thing is that, man, I really feel sorry for these folks because they're getting put through the lying ringer. And you can tell that when people aren't grounded, they're like, a cat with the laser pointer. They're just moving to whatever is being told to them and dictated to them. And the reality is, in this, you literally are walking by faith and not by sight, because understand, when you're reading scriptures and you're reading prophecy, we've been given over to liars. That's what the word says. If anybody in here, any Gentiles in here, want to start fighting and crying and everything else, I'm sorry. That's what the word says. You can take that up with the Most High. Don't take it up with me. And we've read these scriptures many a times, from Obadiah, Joel, Zephaniah, Haggai, Ezra. You even have Esdras that they took out. Look, they're so bad at the lies, and they know that they can't stop the lies. They literally had to take out the scriptures that exposes their lies. I'm just saying, you don't want to see Baruch or Esdras on in there. They'll give you Jeremiah. That's it for Baruch. That's it for the scribe. But now we're seeing this time happening where, yeah, they may have had some sort of agreement or things of that nature. Understand, if you are close to a superpower that's spinning out of control, I don't think people understand the analogy of hunting. And you can tell that with a lot of people here, how you don't want to approach a wounded animal. A couple years ago, I had taken a hunter's course through Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, because I was working on getting my hunting and fishing license, because I get it, I think, either like for free or like a really heavy discount, really steep discount as a veteran. And I took, a couple of hours of it. And, a lot of the time I was kind of bored because, a lot of the stuff I knew from being, just growing out in the country with my grandmother. But it was interesting because one of the lessons that it was that I've always it stuck with me, but I always knew that, even military times and things of that nature. Yeah, they even give you some hunting courses. They call it, survival, evasion, reconnaissance. I forgot the other thing. It's called Siri. How to trap little game things, rabbits and other, vermin or animals to try to survive. I'm like, well, now that I'm a Hebrew, I won't really be worrying about trapping animals. I'd be more worried about eating berries and other things. That's my personal opinion. I mean, they may have different dietary requirements. I mean, you just heard it from the lips of RFK himself saying that, our immune systems are different. They said it's a lot stronger, and then people are getting mad that our immune systems are a lot stronger. I don't look. The saddest thing is when people can't even like take a compliment. Well, my immune system's a lot stronger. What? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, survival, evasion, yeah, resistance and escape theory. Thank you, Master Tactics. Yes. Now, listen. When I was doing my stream yard yesterday, um, I thought that it had engaged, and then it said like Facebook had been a problem because I stream over at Facebook, but because I really don't have a presence over on Facebook, I don't be making posts and stuff like that. It didn't it didn't engage, and then that threw off the YouTube and everything else. So, that was like one of my first things that I did before I passed out last night. And when you pass out, your body's hurting, and you just had that good night's sleep. Look, I passed out at 9:30. My body, I got up at 3:59. I got up at 3:59. My body said uh you don't need more than like 6.5 hours of sleep. And I got up and I felt wonderful this morning. And I was already hurting because I'm trying to get into a routine of getting into this gym. It wasn't because I wanted to, um get on out there. I need to work on my physique and work on my beach bod and everything else. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. See, when you've been going through a couple of months of, you know, uh involuntary fasting. When you've been going through a couple of months of, being in the hurt locker, it was not for lack of physique. No, it was literally I had to keep up with the kids, and I needed to work on a lot more of my core because I'm constantly standing, getting up, opening up the door, and the way that they have it because of active shooters and everything else. It's a lockdown situation. Walk the kids to lunch, walk the kids to, it's a lockdown situation. And I was talking to a one of our sisters here. She had said that she was um, a former school teacher in Atlanta, and she said, that the um, pipeline, the prison system starts in, earlier than middle school. And one of the sisters I know in California, she was saying fifth grade, and the crazy thing is that and I'm going somewhere with this. So trust me, family, I'm going somewhere with this because I got to give you kind of that build up because understand that the problem that we have right now and that we're encountering right now is the narrative has changed. The focus has changed. And it was funny. I was speaking to some folks yesterday after work, and I said, when I got there last week, it was interesting. This week, all they were asking is, Mr. Copeland, are you going to stay? Mr. Copeland, are you going to stay? Are you going to be our teacher? Are you going to be our teacher? And, I have some contractual obligations. I do a couple of different jobs, right? And with the teaching job, it really depends because of some different things that's going on. And I told, the faculty, and I told the kids, I said, I said my intent is to stay. I said, but I have to look at my schedule, and if the boards of that I'm on, if they will allow flexibility, that I can do the teaching job and do what I'm contractually obligated to. I said it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem because for all intents and purposes, I really work about 6.5 hours um a day. An hour and a half for planning periods and lunch. So to be honest, I do a lot of work during the times that I'm technically, on my breaks. So that's um that's really not bad. And to be honest, the classroom setting to me is I'm learning some things. It's refining your communication. I because let me tell you, communicating is different. I can sit here in front of my computer screen, looking at the screen and looking at the comments, right? But when you have faces looking at you and attentive and are studying you because they're studying your posture, your gestures, right? They're studying everything because they want to know, are you actually interested in taking an interest in my learning and my development? And at this age, they just don't know how to regulate their emotions. They don't know how to regulate, their outburst. And I had explained that to him. I said, listen, I remember that age very well because at that age, you know, when I grew up in New Jersey, I used to always have detention because, I was an ADHD child. And in certain respects, I know I'm an ADHD adult. Squirrel, 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 squirrel. But I told the kids, I said, there's different ways and mechanisms to deal with things because you have a lot of ideas popping and flowing because it's not the fact that you have, they want to call it ADHD. That's their, you know, mechanisms that you are a thinker and you're not just a doer. And in a society where they just want drones and not actual people, then there is a product of a conflict that's there. And genetically speaking, shout out to Sister Gates Aholda, you understand the troll, troglodytes, and giantisms of being a drone in a system of that, let's just call it what it is, genetic structure that tried to be imposed, especially on us. Because why? Because you want to dull down the senses of what? Rationalism, creativity, and logic. Because when you are creative, then guess what? Your creative juices will always come about. And then the manner in terms of how you are able to rally people around will be able to create things way outside of the level of control of these fallen angels. For lack of better terms, let's just keep it 100. So, unfortunately, these fallen angels don't want us to be the best that we can be. They don't want us to be an excellence. Because why? Because what they wanted was complete subjugation and total control, and they wanted to utilize how what they needed to utilize to empower them. And you can see that legacy today with the children and even our people. Because why? Because the critical thinking skills that has been lacking is now under attack, because we've actually tapped into our critical thinking skills and we started to pick up books instead of picking up PlayStation 5 and Xbox controllers. We started to look at research and we started to see what was going on and realize what was going on, because that is the actual power, not entertainment. So when I'm explaining that to the kids, that knowledge is power, right? When you entertain, all you're trying to do is ensure that they are wasting their time and their energy in something that will keep them powerless, and then keeping out of reach things that will make them powerful. I hope that was a good soliloquy, because you're going to see this right here on display. And I'm going to drop this link in the chat if you want to understand where I'm coming from, because I'm going to show this and have a lot of things tie in. So this is the Wall Street Journal. This was as of February 3rd. This is as of yesterday. Trump advisors weigh plan to dismantle education department. They're going to dismantle education department. Why? Why? Because it's you Negroes that are trying to get educated and trying to ask the questions. I can't be having Negroes on out here looking and seeing things and understanding things. You all see what I'm saying? They understand that we have begun to ask all the right questions, and we've begun to seek answers. Why is that? Well, you shut people down from the libraries, you shut people down from sources of information, because when you are understanding that we were supposed to be in a multi-generational prison facility, guess what? Yeah, Dorothy Osborne, exactly. They have AI now to think for you, and that is it. If you don't know that you're a slave or in captivity, then guess what? You're going to always be in captivity. What did Harriet Tubman even say? She could have rescued a lot more people, but they didn't even know that they were enslaved. Boy, oh boy, isn't that a chilling tale for the Gentiles? Because I can guarantee you, I'm not a prophet. I never said I'm a prophet, but I can definitely read the warnings on the walls. If you're not able to critically think because they're taking away the mechanisms for you to be a critical thinker, then you are going to be enslaved within a generation, if not sooner. And that's what they're doing. Trump advisors weigh plan to dismantle the education department. Administration officials are discussing executive order that could shut down key functions of the agency. Trump administration officials are weighing executive actions to dismantle the education department as part of the campaign by billionaire Elon Musk and his allies to shrink federal agencies and slash the size of the government workforce. The officials have discussed an executive order that would shut down all functions. Let's read this. All functions of the agency that aren't written explicitly in the statute or merge certain functions into other departments, according to people familiar with the matter. The order would call for developing a legislative proposal to abolish the department. Why is that? Because they see the writing on the wall. You know, it was very interesting that in the class that I'm teaching, the kids didn't even know the word Negro. And this was black kids. This is our Hebrew children, our Hebrew sons and daughters that didn't even know the word Negro. See, if you understand, Negro literally ties everything together. Remember, I was talking about birth certificates and how Negro was on birth certificates for a lot of our parents and grandparents. And now, understand, they have to systematically shut them down from the word Negro because it is a smoking gun. Yahya Ben Negro, Spain, Israelites, Moors, Yahudim, Yahudim. See, what you are looking at is they do not want you to trace back any elements, and they want to keep everybody dumb and ignorant. So I went into a little discussion, you know how I am, and I said, "Listen, what's the word? What is Negro and black?" And you know all the Spanish kids, you know, it's negro, black. And then I started to go into the Iberian Peninsula. I started to go into Jao Philip. The second, I started to, go all the way to, the Iberian Peninsula and Spain and the Moors. And I understood, I'm like, wow, they don't want that taught because, see, if you're able to piece all the information together, well, ding dong, you know your history. Bingo. Y'all think I'm just on out here just Brother Karras just be talking. He just be talking. Brother Karras just be talking. I'm putting this all together. I'm showing this all to you in real time. I'm showing to you in real time what is happening, especially here. Why does this matter? Because what we said and what we do and how we've been doing things is literally globally impacting. It has a global impact. You all were just thinking we're just here on the channel and it's just black folks and and some sprinkle of Gentiles and they're kind of getting the truth. Yes, that is true, but you also have to understand that the Terminator algorithm is also listening. Because they want this truth shut down at all costs. They were trying to figure out how to handle this, and now it's too late. Because the truth is out there. Neo. And these folks know, these kids know. Whether or not these kids will actually verbalize it or vocalize it, they don't want to. Because why? Because they know that they're in the system. When I started to talk about that, the black kids just whoop, they shut up. Their ears perked up, they shut up. They're like, wow. Because why? Because these discussions are being had at home. These discussions are being said by that crazy uncle, by their crazy dad, their crazy mom, their crazy aunt, their crazy grandmother, grandfather, their crazy brother, their crazy sister, because everybody has a crazy that has woken up to the truth, and everybody has a witness in their family, and every family has a guardian redeemer. That's our job. If you didn't know your job is actually your guardian redeemer. I've said that a couple years ago. And yes, your job as a guardian redeemer is a whole lot bigger than what you thought. Sorry, you got picked out. You ever watch that movie, The Fifth Wave? Oh, when the aliens come, I woke up and, I had all these powers. Yeah, okay. When the Most High was, turning his face towards his people, certain people woke up. And the Most High endowed them with wisdom and understanding to handle different things and give them different tasks and shut them down so then they would move in his path and in his direction for a time like this. You get raised up for a time like this. Not to just sit around and be like, I'm an Israelite, yeah, but yeah, you're going to be bowing up, kissing my feet and everything else. Okay, that's fine. That's the quickest way to get destroyed. Because guess what? He doesn't need you in your pride and your arrogancy. That's who you run away from. Because those are the people that will get you deleted. Because they like to feed on your pride and your arrogancy to lead you right back into the trap. Everybody's mission is the mission of the Most High. Everyone. If that's not your mission, then guess what? This isn't your channel. And that's fine. I'm not here for subscribers. Oh, I need to have this. I need to have that. Let me talk about celebrity gossip. I'm not here for that. I'm here because I could see the writing on the wall just like everyone else. Will celebrity gossip? I don't know. Will that stop a nuclear weapon? No. Celebrity gossip? I don't know. Will that stop a drone? No. Will that stop a missile? No. Will that stop a trade war? No. And what does a trade war lead to? Famine. Understand, quote unquote, Trump got Canada and Mexico on board. You ain't hear nothing about China. China's like, cool, we're just going to starve you out. Mexico and Canada are like, all right, we got held hostage. But we already are still in bed and in cahoots with China. China owes some ports there. Yep, over there in Canada and Mexico. Do you think they're going to try to make any sudden moves while the animal is dying? We had a trade imposed or a tariff imposed by the Chinese a couple of like days ago. They don't need to worry about anything. All right, we're just going to play your game. You're dying anyway. Same thing with Panama. We're just going to play your game. You're dying anyway because why? Because you don't even have control of the Red Sea. You don't have control of the Bab al Mandeb over there near Yemen and Somalia. Remember, that's why they tried to do the airstrikes and do everything else. That's not going to work. They lost control of that. They lost control of the most vital port, or excuse me, yeah, not just port or ports, I want to say, there in the Middle East with oil. In order for even European ships to come through, they actually have to get clearance from these other nations that happen to align with Russia and China. And people aren't even talking about that. Shoot, Egypt is getting ready to gear up to go into that Eastern Mediterranean nation. Why is that? Because everybody is going through this crazy clown house, the house of horrors, the fun house, the smoke and mirrors. Amazing all this stuff is happening, and they don't even talk to you about Egypt, which has the Suez Canal going after America's jewel. That's America's jewel right there. Them folks. You better understand where those billions of dollars go. You better understand where that USA go. They're going to tell you about all the other embarrassing reports, but they're not going to tell you about the billions of dollars that go to that Eastern Mediterranean nation. No, they will not. Funny how that wasn't said by the White House press secretary. I'm just saying. Well, they tried to do a parrot thing. Okay. But they weren't going to tell you about all the weapons and ammunition that was given to commit, the genocider. Vinegar. Genoa apple cider vinegar. So now here we are in this time. They know that their world is falling apart. We have to, take away all of these different things. We got to make sure that we're doing government efficiency. No. Have you noticed that government efficiency kind of sounds like government bankruptcy? What happens when you're bankrupt? When you are bankrupt, you have your creditors come through a knocking. You have it. This is not a happenstance. And now, yeah, you're going to see countries, okay, you even have Putin, and I know what Putin was doing. Putin was trolling. Oh, yeah, Trump's is going to do it. He's in this and that. Until when? Until people starve out. They know how this place is going to get what? Ravaged from within. External revenue service. Why externally? Because, I don't know, people can't pay their bills. People can't get the jobs that they once had. And guess what they're not going to do? They're not going to lower any car payments. They're not going to lower anything with cost of living. Do people think that this is going to end very well, paying back nearly $40 trillion? And if people think that that's the case, then they are clearly lying to themselves. That's why you saw all these folks come up in the last 5 years, prepping channels, prep. Because why? Because even those, they may not even have the spiritual eyes and ears to understand, but they understand common sense. And if you're not teaching common sense, then guess what? Cursed is a nation whose leaders are children. Come on, man. Family, this is all in Proverbs. We've read this. And we've read this. And now we're seeing this all come to pass. I'm not telling you, oh, you need to up and leave and go to Africa. You need to do that right now. I've never said that, and I haven't said this on that. I haven't said that on this channel. But what I have said is we need to have and make sure we have a relationship with our brothers and sisters on the continent. We need to find out how we can build together, how we can move together. Because not if, but when we do get kicked out, guess what? Do you know that when you actually leave a place, you're not just going to be thrown to the winds on a particular landmass? You're not going to do that. I know that that's what happens here in the United States, and that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. It won't. You will come through and you will be sitting for a minute because they want to vet you. They want to know who you are. They want to know your affiliations. They want to know everything. Oh, and guess what? You know, the algorithm, the data collection that people do every day, and you know, emails, whether you think they're confidential, all of that gets collected. And I can guarantee you they're probably sitting on some Chinese servers. And everybody is getting racked and stacked here. That when the deal goes down, they already got your profile. So when I say these things, I'm not saying these things to scare anybody or have fear tactics. No, I'm saying this because we all see what's happening in the writing on the wall. And if people can't confront that, then guess what? That's dangerous. Because understandably, it will be the people that are not able to confront reality. That's your most dangerous people. I'm not talking. I don't. when people are like, oh, Gentiles, it's who cares? They're going to be just as confused. And do you really think that they'll turn on us? No, they're going to turn on their power core. You lied to me. I gave you my trust. I gave you my power. You lied to me. Y'all think the French Revolution was something. Oh, no, no, no. You just wait. And when that does happen, because they've already been talking about it, we're going to throw the gloves off. What does that mean? You already know what that means. Let people start to starve. Let those grocery aisles get a little bit thinner and thinner and thinner, like it looked like in 2020 with them tariffs. Let people not be able to go on vacation this year because they ain't got no job. Can't make it to Disney World. I always loved going to Disney World in the summertime. That was my thing. I loved going to Miami in the summertime. I can't take a cruise. But on the cruise, I'd see the pictures of the Indians and the Chinese and everybody else that doesn't look like us on the cruise. I've even seen black people on the cruise, and what are they doing that I'm not doing right? Viva Revolution! I wanted to go on Carnival. I wanted to go on World Caribbean. I want to take my kids on a Disney cruise, and the kids don't look like my kids. They not like us. Ah, yeah, that reality is going to start hitting home, and that is going to start being dangerous because, and they're getting poorer. Oh, you're not able to take a vacation? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I know it's the worst thing ever. Well, yeah, I hear you. You know, last time I took a vacation was about 10 years ago with my family. That was the last time I was even able to really afford anything. What? We don't have those luxuries because usually when we do take a vacation, guess what? For black folks, they know that vacation means that we will be vacated when we get back from our vacation. Oh, I need you to take some mandatory time off. You've earned it. Yeah, just take that time off and then you come back. Oh, well, you done a good job, but we've kind of moved on with your position. Oh, I got it. And that's the harsh reality. We can't even take vacation because we don't even know if we're actually going to have a job. That's what we've had to deal with. And now the tables have turned. The rug's being pulled from underneath of them. Do you think that that's going to stop anything with these tariffs for Canada and Mexico? No, it's not. Well, I thought that we were winning. How come the things got worse? Because you still had China. China was the biggest one. We the reality is that they are quickly in front of their eyes. They're turning into us. Everything that had been done to us, it's actually being done to them by other countries. Call it what you want to call it. I don't think it's a hate doctrine to tell you all the truth. Because if you don't hear the truth, honestly, then who's going to tell you it? Because they're not going to get it from their people. Their people will not tell them the truth. I started listening to black channels because they were on to something. And all we can do is just shake our head and say, wow. You have all these things going on all around the world. They don't even want to talk about Russia anymore. Did you see that? Russia and Ukraine don't even want to talk about that anymore. You want to know why? Because Russia won. Russia won. Will they tell you that Russia won? No, they're going to say Russia lost, but it was they took steep losses and they got half of Ukraine all the way to the Dnipro River. What they wanted, they're going to get their sanctions lifted. They're freezing assets and they're recouping assets, and they actually had more in European and U.S. assets than the West had of their assets. And it's like, look, don't steal our 300 billion because we still have about almost half a trillion sitting over here. Do you really want to do that? But when you've been an uneducated model, yeah, they're taking L's. See, they didn't realize they brought us here into this captivity. And when we leave, it's not a question of if, but I'm telling you, when we leave, as the Most High states, as His word states, it's no type of Hegelian dialect or red herring or any straw man argument. As the scriptures have stated, when the Most High brings us on back, so when we leave, they will be left in the captivity that they planned for us. That's how that goes. They'll be left trying to escape a wall that they built. They'll be left having sanctions imposed on them as they had imposed on others. How does that go? Do you just do like, you send over drones or balloons that has like a crate full of MREs? Sorry, we wish we could do more, but this is what you chose. How does that happen? Yes. Yeah, and Elon Musk does have control over it all. I don't know about you all, but we're gonna start to understand what literally digital financial apartheid. And it's not gonna be us, they're gonna be understanding it. All those folks that said, "Oh, this is the place, this is the American dream," you're gonna see that they're gonna quickly fizzle on out. And you want to know when they're planning to do it? Mark my words. Mark my words. By June, July, you're going to see a precipitous decline. A precipitous decline. Because why? What are they trying to say in this education system? Well, we're going to shut down the Department of Education because we're also going to shut down colleges and universities. And when we shut down colleges and universities, we're also going to shut down people being admitted from these other nations. That's what's going to end up happening. All right, well, time to go somewhere else. Time to move along somewhere else. When I do my scholarly work and research regarding BRICS, what I actually find is that you have a lot of scholarly work in India, China, and South Africa. And you even get some scholarly works in Brazil. They really don't have Russia because of how the sanctions have gone. But they're building up. They are building up their universities. So what do you think is going to happen next? They're going to shut everything down because why? Because they don't want their scholars taking a look and seeing what's happening around the world. All right, well, you know what? If I'm doing BRICS and I know about BRICS, then I guess I'm going to have to go to a BRICS country so I can be employed, so I can make money in this new global system of multipolarity. This is what's happening in front of our eyes. But they have the smoke and they have the mirrors. And that's right, peekaboo. Yep, if they shut down colleges and they can tell Israelites are not qualified, absolutely. Because we are in a lot of academia. We really are. The family, this is all I have. Sorry for running a little bit late. Thank you again, family, for your support of this channel. It really does mean a lot. It really does. It helps out a lot on my bit of a teaching salary. Thank you, family, for your prayers. There's a lot of things that we do on the background to that the Most High is putting in place. He really is. It's not me. It is literally the Most High putting some things in place. So, with that said, family, Most High willing, I will be back on tomorrow. We'll see what happens today. A lot of things Well, we'll see what even happens tonight. I don't even know. In the next couple of hours. That's how crazy this is. Can you say contractions? Can you say Yakoba and Teyu? Yakoba, Yakoba, Yakoba. I'm sure he's so busy. He's like, I just keep getting article and article. Pray for our brother Teyu and Yakoba. You know that their minds are just being blown and smoked out. And hallelujah. And pray for our whole family. Pray for our channels, family. In terms of how the Most High moves, look, we're all in His season and His timing. And to come on up here every most days, not every single day, but definitely most days, it really does mean your support. We're being censored. We're being impacted. Now, if you think that that's happening now, see everything that's happened in the background with us. Now it's going to the forefront with them. That's how the Most High is. He's a fair Elohim. He really is. With that said, family, I gotta get going because I gotta beat this traffic. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Peace and blessings, Yasharel. As Jacoba would say, your captivity is ending. And not just your captivity is ending, but family, the Most High is still fighting for you. And we've already won the victory through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Shalom, family, and y'all be blessed getting on out here. And please use spiritual discernment wherever you're at. Hallelujah. So with that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel.